If you're looking to buy a new graphics card, now may be the best opportunity to buy one because next year things are going to be getting pretty crazy in terms of the pricing. So there are some reasons to wait. Maybe you want to pick up RTX 50 Super and RTX 60 or the equivalent AMD GPUs. And I will actually be discussing RTX 50 Super and RTX 60's updated release dates in this video as well. But all of the pricing concerns are essentially down to memory. And, also AI just across the board at the moment. In fact, there are murmurs that Nvidia and AMD may be forced to increase their prices semi-officially. On top of all of that, certain SKUs such as the RTX 5060 Ti 16GB model, and that's the important one of course, may actually start to see reduced inventory. So of course, if you start to see reductions in supply, the prices are going to go up anyway, and well, it's just not good. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about here, and we're going to do so after this very quick message from the sponsor of the video. It's an end of an era. Windows 10 is now essentially dead in terms of its official support from Microsoft, and so now is the perfect time to upgrade to Windows 11, and you can do so without breaking the bank. This video's sponsor is WhoKeys, a regular on the channel, and I use WhoKeys myself for keys not just for Windows but Microsoft Office and some other software to boot. Now, WhoKeys offers affordable and reliable Windows keys, and as you can see here, they offer Windows 11 Pro for just $32 and that is without our coupon code, which we're going to get to in just a moment. This is a huge saving over the official price, which is around $140, leaving you a lot more budget left over for, well, better things, let's be honest, like buying a more powerful graphics card or processor, or perhaps even you can shell out on some RGB lighting. Don't do that, save it for your GPU, but that's just my personal opinion. Anyway, if you use our coupon code during checkout, this will save you an additional 25% from this massively discounted already price. This means you can buy Windows 11 Pro for just $23, saving you almost another $8. Now, personally, I do recommend that you do pick up Windows 11 Pro, but you could pick up Home instead, which with the code is going to cost you just $22. The reason I personally would go with Windows 11 Pro is I think for power users, which is typically what, of course, is the demographic of this channel, you get a lot more control, security, and business tools. But I also really like some of the features and functionalities such as Hyper-V, which is really nice for virtual machines. It's actually really powerful, and if you want a bit of fun, you can certainly mess around with that. I'd actually highly advise it. Anyway, if you do want a more simple and lighter experience, you can just go with a Windows 11 Home. As I mentioned at the start of this video, I have used WhoKeys myself for a lot of different rigs at this point and also pushed them to my friends, and no one had any issue. Within just a few minutes of you using the checkout, you will receive your code via email, and you can also access it via the website. And you just plonk it in and there are absolutely no issues with activation. And of course, if you do have any problems, they do have 24/7 support to help you out as well. In addition to Windows 11, they do also offer various other software such as Steam games and Microsoft Office, and there are massive discounts on Microsoft Office packages as well, which can be really handy. You can find links to their website in the video description. You can, of course, just use our coupon code, which once again is RGT, to save an additional 25% off of the listed prices. Thanks again to WhoKeys for sponsoring the video, and now let's just get back on with the content. Now, at the moment, certain SKUs are actually available for pretty good prices, and I'll show you a couple of examples in just a moment. But this may not last. So board channels are actually discussing this a little bit, and credit to WCCF Tech is where I spotted this. There's a sharp increase in DRAM chip prices for DRAM chip manufacturers. Free original chips have risen 90% since the last listing, almost doubling, and many have started to speculate the purchase cost of memory chips to corresponding graphics card has increased accordingly, which may affect the cost of some graphics cards. Skipping forward a little bit, based on their own personal speculation, it's likely Nvidia and AMD will implement this increase in the first month or quarter of 2026, although it could be earlier, in December or January. This is going to be basically dependent on what's going on with the prices. Now, prices are going absolutely nuts. For example, I'm just popping over to PC Part Picker. I'm sure a lot of you guys are familiar with it. Hopefully I can zoom in a little bit, and you can see just what's going on with the pricing history here. What memory did I pick on So this is 32 gigabytes, DDR5 6000, CL36. So very typical memory, nothing super extravagant. It's got large GB though, that makes it go faster, as everyone knows. And if we scroll down here, so it was trading, depending on the vendor, let's just say around $100, right? So you've got overclockers that were charging around $90 for it. You've got Box, which are around 109, and so on and so on. Again, these are UK retailers. But now, oh boy, now, I'm not the best at math, right? So someone correct me in the comments down below. But let's just take Overclockers UK, who are the cheapest. Now, I'm going to say 100. Let's just round it up and say 168. And where were we here? Was it 89? Now, that seems a small increase in pricing. And God help you if you pick it up from some of the other vendors. Like, what's the most expensive one? Just kind of going, okay, AWD is like £234. Jeez. It's literally doubled. And, that's the thing. This is actually getting absolutely absurd. Like, NAND prices, it's the same deal as well. They're going up, several percent. And I even did a real quick Google, just on or should I say, a Twittering on DDR5 prices, and people are complaining about this as well. Like back here, for example, Jukin mentions that this is DDR5 16 gigabyte. So this is, I would say, not exactly expensive. Say it's like 4,800 or 5,600. And notice the price went up 7.4%. 7.4%. That was in a day, by the way. That was in a day. So imagine I'd say to you, well, you know what? It cost you 7% more today. Why? Well, just because, actually. Now, that is DDR5 memory, 100%, but it also, of course, is affecting other memory like GDDR6, GDDR7, and obviously other memory as well. And that's to say absolutely nothing of what's going on with, I could make a whole video on the TSMC situation at the moment. Like, seriously, guys, after this video, because, I need the watch time, but after this video, just do a quick Google on, TSMC 2nm and 3nm costs. It's so much more that these guys are just charging more per week, it seems. I'm slightly exaggerating, but you get the point. It's going absolutely nuts at this point. And so I honestly would not be surprised if this is the case. Now, Megasize GPU, who's a pretty reliable NVIDIA source, they are saying there's no cancellation for RTX 50 Super. And remember, there was, and this is just about a week ago, slightly under a week ago, there were rumors that RTX 50 Super was canned, it was dead. And I had said in my video that, rumors were it was dead, but I don't know, maybe it's only been delayed, and that's what he's saying. It's been now launching in the third quarter of 2026. Now, if you remember, the early rumors were it was, around now it was supposed to launch. But, let's just say that those rumors were always incorrect. And to be honest, I wouldn't have been surprised if Nvidia never had plans to launch it in Q4. Let's just say Q1 was always the plan. So at the very least, this thing is being delayed by 6 months. And of course, we all know why. Those 3 gigabyte modules, GDDR7, are just absolute premium for high performance GPUs for AI and that type of thing. And obviously you can have a narrower bus and have way more capacity. So cards like the 5070, 18 gigabytes, which, for gamers, that's absolutely fantastic. So what I'm actually hearing is that RTX 60, so obviously this would be Rubin, the very earliest we're going to see this is CES 2027. And I was actually hearing initially it was going to be earlier than this, but just what's going on right now, I'm hearing at the very earliest, Nvidia are expecting to launch this in the first quarter, at the very least, or shall I say announce it in the first quarter of 2027. And I just don't see them actually rushing. There is a lot of conflicting information because obviously there are a lot of reports that AMD are planning to launch RDNA 5, UDNA, whatever the hell you want to call it, at the end of next year. And so you can make a really good argument. It's like, well, would Nvidia just want to be caught, I wouldn't say caught with their pants down, but just not have a direct next generation answer to AMD. And at this point, I think the whole industry is just like, we don't really know what to do. And it is kind of nuts when you think about it. Like, so I'm going to open up a private browser here. I'm doing in private window because, quite frankly, I couldn't be bothered to log in. So I open it up in a new browser, and I didn't want to, like, kind of accidentally, dox myself. But let's just, so this is a 5060 Ti, 16 gigabyte. And if we do a little bit of a squirrely here, so the MSRP of this card in the UK is, what is it? I think it's like 400 Great British pounds. So some cards have come down, and obviously you'll have to do this in your region. If you live in the US or Canada or what have you, it's going to be very different. But around $400 for this card, so it's down, a couple of pounds, about $15 it's reduced. Actually 16, or 17 actually, I guess, or split the difference. But then you have palette, 391, so that's actually down a significant chunk. Then we have the 5070, which is not too bad actually, $479 US. That's for MSI kind of basic GPU, and so on and so on. And I'll look at one last card. Let's go with the 5080. So you're looking at around 1,000. So it's not, I wouldn't say they're exactly super cheap. But they're not super above MSRP yet. But we'll have to wait and see. I think at this point, the safest bet, honestly, is just to pick up a GPU, assuming, of course, you have the cash and you need to upgrade. I would say that if you have a nice GPU at the moment, you're pretty much sitting pretty. For example, let's say you have a GPU like that. Say you have the RTX, I don't know, let's just say like RTX 40 series GPU, like a 4060 Ti or a 4070 or even an AMD RX 7900 or anything like that, you're probably going to be good for a while. And honestly, I just wouldn't stress about it and just kind of sit out the generation. With that said, it's going to be very interesting over the next several months to see what happens with prices. Hopefully things start to get a little bit less crazy. And the thing is, while it's really easy for console players to be it's also screwing over consoles as well. Because not only, of course, have consoles like the PlayStation 5 and Xbox not come down in price, not just because of memory prices, but everything else in just everything that goes towards making a console, down from the plastics to, TSMC and the, productions of the chips and the memory and, VRMs and God knows what else. But it's also going to start affecting other things. Like, there's probably a good reason that Valve decided with, with their new console, essentially, to plonk in only 8 gigabytes of VRAM. I'm sure they would have loved to outfit that thing with like 16 gigabytes and 32 gigabytes of DDR5, but the prices are just so unpredictable at the moment. Anyway, that's just my couple of pennies on this. Like, at the end of the day, I'm not going to tell you just buy right now because, obviously you have to kind of decide what's going on with your particular needs. But if you are in the market to buy a GPU, I don't think there's going to be a better time than right now. At least unless something really does change over the next couple of weeks. Hopefully supply will start to improve because I really don't want more dark times ahead like we saw with, the whole mining fiasco, because that just sucked balls, quite frankly. With that said, guys, let me know your thoughts and opinions on this. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.